Hi Fian, it's Wednesday. My nerdy pleasure this week was obviously seeing Mockingjay Part 2, and that's kind of the theme of this video, where you're talking about the Hunger Games. I first read the Hunger Games. I think this is a good place to start. When Five Awesome Girls was still a relevant thing that was happening every day of the week. And I think Kaylee, who is Wednesday, on the channel, she was talking about how Catching Fire was coming out in like 10 days and she was so excited, and I was like, oh, book recommendations, always good to have. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, Catching Fire will be the second book in the series called The Hunger Games. I've heard of that, but I haven't read it yet. So I went straight to the store and I picked up The Hunger Games, and I read The Hunger Games in like a 24-hour period. It was so good. And then I only had to wait like 3 days for Catching Fire to come out, so that was really nice. One of those series that has become a movie series that is actually really good. There's been a lot of failures to do that ever since Twilight, pretty much, and I think this is like the one series where they have like consistently like pulled through and made it such a joy to watch. I can't tell you if it's Jennifer Lawrence, but it probably is. That really does it for me. The acting is so good. The casting is incredible. I mean, they've got freaking Woody Harrelson, and they've got Julianne Moore and Philip Seymour Hoffman, bless his soul. It's just such a great cast, and everyone is so dedicated to what they're doing and telling the story. And Katniss is one of those characters where she doesn't say a whole lot, and so a lot has to be conveyed to the audience through her facial features and her emotions and how she reacts to things. And I think if anyone other than Jennifer Lawrence was playing her, it just would not have worked out as well as it should have. She just nails it, and like there wasn't a dry eye in the theater for Mockingjay Part 2. I cried like 3 times that I know of, just like trying to like, well, I'm not crying, there's an itch in my eye. And I cried when I read the book, and it was just such a good ending to like such a great message, like, and especially with everything that's going on right now in the world, very relevant for this time. First heard that they were splitting Mockingjay into 2 movies, I was kind of like, why? Not much happens in the first half of Mockingjay, so it just make that shorter and really like draw out Mockingjay Part 2, but I think it was just such a good decision. I wouldn't have made a good one movie, because what they were able to do with Part 1 is really show the devastation of the Hunger Games and exploring the depths of things like PTSD and stuff that is mentioned in the books, but like when you see it on the screen, it's like that much more like tragic and terrible. And God, watching all those deaths, although I could have done without the epilogue, I could have done without it in the book, and I could have done without it in the movie. I think they should have ended it, and this isn't really a spoiler, when they're in like, they're sleeping together at the end, and he goes, "You love me, true or not true?" And she says, "True." And like that was like, I was like, that's a great place to end. Please don't do the epilogue. And then those bastards did the epilogue. Oh, it's Harry Potter all over again. Why is this happening? But it was really good. And my question for you guys is, I'm gonna ask about the epilogue. Did you like it? Because I hated it. I think all of you have read Hunger Games, so you should be able to answer that question. And that's all I have for you guys this week. Next week is Secret Santa, and I'm really excited. I love Secret Santa! Okay, bye.